Hey, what's going on, everybody? Good afternoon. So, in today's stream, I'm going to be doing a little bit of flying in the Nomad and going to be doing some upgrades and things of that nature. I'm going to basically be flying the ship due to a suggestion from one of my subscribers, and they basically said that they think it flies like the Hawk. They have similar DPS and things of that nature, and I wanted to see for myself how well the ship's going to handle. Is it potentially going to be another ship that I will use as a daily driver potentially? Even though it is a starter ship, there's a couple of things of interest in this ship that I potentially see potential. So the fact that it has three size 1 shields, that I can put three size 3 weapons and essentially have the same DPS as a Gladius. Mind you, I won't have the same turn rate as a Gladius, but it will have the same DPS. Now it's going to be able to have two coolers, and of course I just got the Atlas Quantum Drive from HRL 5, so the rest of the components I'm going to be basically going around flying and collecting. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into the game. Our next stop is going to be Crew L1 for the 3 FR66 shields. Alright, so let's go ahead and head over there. Now, I'm terribly interested to see as well what the fuel economy on the ship is going to be, considering it is a Nomad, so you would think that the fuel economy would be good. So far, I like the way that it handles in space. In atmosphere, it's okay. It's definitely not the worst. Alright, so here we go. We're going to take off. Let's get a look at the outside of the ship here. Alright. Bring up our landing gear. You can see it's kind of like a turtle shell. And don't worry, I'm going to do a walk around of the ship. I wasn't planning on streaming originally, and that's kind of why I'm in the ship already, but yeah, don't worry, we'll do a walk around and everything. I'll give you my honest opinion on what I think of the exterior and the interior of the ship. While we're traveling, please excuse me, I'm gonna go refill on coffee. I'll be back momentarily, guys. While we're quantuming, I'll go ahead and leave the chat up so you have something to look at. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Whew. Anything interesting going on in chat? Let's see. I accidentally murdered myself with backspace. Thought I had chat open. Nope. Nothing like coffee. So anyways, let's see how far we have. 11 million. Okay. Is no one gonna tell this guy what the third-person flight is? I mean, I'll tell him. Do the headlamp on the hard hats not work, or am I bugged? Yeah, exactly. Relog. Yeah. That's pretty much what I meant when I said server hop. Like, it was literally just relogging, but sometimes you're not guaranteed to get back into the same server. Alright, so since we're approaching now, let's go ahead and get into... This is where we're going. We're going to go to the Ambitious Dream Station. So let's set that on coordinates. Let's see. Meanwhile, let's go ahead and see if we can't answer any more questions for anybody. Quantum for like 10 minutes. That's really undesirable. Mad Max.
Quantum travel complete.
UT Drive. Anyway, alright, so there's the station. So from what I could tell, there was like almost literal no cooldown in the QT drive. So that's pretty cool right off the bat. In most ships that you're in, you immediately stop QTing after long distances and have a really extreme cooldown time. So I find that pretty interesting. Alright. Got somebody else here, got a couple other people. Let's see if we can't West Landing somewhere.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay. Request has already been granted.
Alright, looks like they moved my request to somewhere else.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
Landing gear engaged.
I don't know why that did damage, but
complete.
was weird.
Pleasant stay.
Alright, so it looks like I only have like 2 mil left. So it's alright, no service required. So now that we're here, I'm gonna go ahead and do my walk around of the ship and things like that. Give my, you know, obvious initial impression of the ship and everything. So actually, you know what, let me turn the ship back on. So we're gonna start here since we're here with the interface.
All systems operational.
So right off the bat, it reminds me of Game Glass, which is an application that you can use for Star Citizen so that you can actually utilize your UI outside of the game, and it will interact with the game. So anything that you change on the interface on Game Glass, it will affect the interface in the game. So this is really cool. That's kind of what it reminds me of. Everything is touchscreen. It's very futuristic. Right off the bat, what I love the most is the UI here in the front. It has everything that you absolutely need to see from just the forward view glance. I can see my shields and hull HP. I can see my target status. And then on the left hand side, I can see my comms. And on the right hand side, I can see my power management. So love that. Everything else, you know, I can basically deal without, but this is fantastic. The way they manage the UI in the ship is great. So I do like that, okay? Now, moving forward. So here, you know, we've got the habitation section. So we've got our bed. And then here on this side, we've got our sink, condiments and things like that. So it's like a very small kitchen, and you've got a dining area equipped with a chair for you to sit down, which is pretty nice and convenient. Okay, and it's nice that you can just slide that in so it's out of the way. I do like how sleek everything in here is, and I do like the little subtle hint of that this guy is a workout bro. You know, Nomad, he's out there for long periods of time. He's got to get his gains, so he's got his proteins and supplements and things like that. I find that really cool and interesting. Now, the next area here, this is really futuristic tech. I like how sleek and ergonomic everything looks. My one concern for the Nomad is how bad he must smell, because he's only got a half bath. So, unless he's bathing in the sink over there, I don't know how he's getting any showering done. He's got a closet, which is not really something you can utilize right now currently in game. And he can access the cargo bed from here. However, in the future, when they do rework the ships, I would like to see this become an actual door so that we can actually interact with the cargo bay and potentially fit and store more boxes inside of the ship. In this area, we've got some components. And that's pretty much going to do it for the interior of the Nomad. So we're going to go ahead and exit outside of the ship. Or so I would think. There we go. Exit the ship. Alright. I like that, how it does that. That's pretty cool. So, alright. This is going to be the sole and only ship for Consolidated Outland. Hopefully we see more from them in the future. So the one thing that actually stopped me from flying the Nomad in the first place was the open bed in the back. I personally didn't like it. But it is sealed off, so it's not like anybody can just jump in your ship. There is only one entry point, which is the one that we use to exit the ship. I do like that you can do box missions, and you can fit a rock on the back here, as well as you have SCU for doing some cargo runs. So I find that terribly, you know, interesting and convenient. Alright. So the hovering landing gear, that's really different, terribly interesting. And here's the Badgers. So we've got one there, and we've got one on the top of the ship as well. So the ship kind of reminds me of a turtle, right? It's like, you know, the limbs come out, which is the landing gear are the limbs, but it can bring its limbs back inside of the shell, and then you see it's kind of got like this like turtleneck head kind of. It looks really cool, man. I really like the design of the ship. You know, I've definitely changed my opinion of it at this point. So here we are at Ambitious Station. We're going to grab 3 FR-66s because conveniently enough, like I said earlier, the ship has 3 size 1 shields, which is awesome. But let's see if those 3 size 1 shields are enough to help it in combat.
Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System.
So what's going on, guys? Talk to me in chat. How are you guys doing today? Alright. Okay. I'm glad to hear that, man. Have you ever flown the Nomad before? What is your opinion on this ship? This is my first time. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, it's just my honest first opinion of the ship, you know? Right now, it's pretty much stock. I just upgraded the quantum drive to an Atlas, and right now I'm going to get some FR66s, and then we're going to hook it up with some Panthers, and actually I could show you right here on Urkel Games. So this is pretty much what I'm going to upgrade. So I'm going to put Ultra Flows for the coolers. I'm going to either put NDB-30s or the Panthers or Attritions. I haven't really decided yet, but you can get all three of those at Area 18. And for the shields, FR66s, and the JS300, we can also pick that up on the way as well. So actually, let me double check where the JS300 get that from. I believe... So we can get it from Grimhex or HRL2, which we'll probably go to HRL2 and pick it up there. But I'm really interested to see how it does, you know, in like against a VHRt and things like that. I know a lot of people use it for rock mining, and I may actually do some of that after as well. We'll see what we get into. What's your favorite ship? What ship do you like flying? The Saber. You know, it's funny. I was going to cover the Saber the other day, and I did fly it. I upgraded it and everything, and I was just... Let me tell you right now, the Vanguard series is my favorite ship, okay? So I love the Sentinel, I love the Harbinger, the Warden, the Hoptal. Like, I love the Vanguard series. But the Saber's like a mini Vanguard. They're both made by Aegis Dynamic, and I really wanted the ship to be better than what it was, and I was just so disappointed. Like, I feel like they need to buff the ship, you know, give it an extra size 1 shield. It just, I felt like the turn rate was just not good, and the capacitors, whenever you have the 4 size 3 Panthers that come stock, I feel like every single time I'm always out of ammo when I'm shooting with it. So I really want them to buff that ship because it's such a good looking ship, right? Like, it's just so beautiful. Alright, so let's go ahead and put these shield generators on the Nomad. Laser cannons, yeah. I tried cannons as well. I think that the problem is that once you get into a situation where you're in atmosphere, because of the turn rate, it just feels so difficult to regain control of the fight. You know what I mean? More so, I should specify, more so in like a PvP scenario. Nomad is right on time. I just upgraded my Titan to a Cutlass like a few days ago, and I'm pretty disappointed with the Cutlass. Now I'm looking for a new starter, and the Nomad is on my radar. Yeah, absolutely. I think the Cutlass just suffers from its engines. You know, a lot of these Drake ships have big engines, and so what ends up happening is that once the engines get shot out, the ship's completely useless. Like, you can't do anything. You can't defend yourself, and you're pretty much stuck in a death loop where the ships are spinning out. I absolutely think that the Nomad could potentially be a very, very strong starter ship. It offers, I think, a lot of gameplay loops and diversity, so it's definitely something to look at. I did a video also on the Pisces C8R, so if you are interested in a starter ship, I think that offers a lot for a starter ship as well. So just keep a lookout for that. The Pisces C8R, the medical variant. Alright, let me take a drink here and eat some food. But also, I think the factor is, how much AUEC you're looking to spend on your ship, like for starter, um, and what your profession is going to be. Because like a lot of people, they'll use like a freelancer or a prospector if they're doing like mining and things like that. A fighter or something with storage space. Okay. Yeah, the good thing about the Nomad is that it basically has it's a master at nothing, but it can do everything. So it's one of those things where you know it's definitely a great starter ship for sure. If you're looking for something that can do combat that also has storage space as well, a good option could potentially be an Avenger Titan as well. I know that you were mentioning that before, was the Titan. The Titan has two size 3s and a size 4 on the nose, so it can do combat pretty well. And it does have storage in the back as well for doing like box missions and stuff like that. What separates the Nomad, in my opinion, is the fact that it has the big bed in the back that you can basically do mining as well with the rock. That's pretty convenient. You just have to store it the right way. Alright, so...
Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System.
Alright, so let's get back in the Nomad, and we're gonna head and go to HRT next.
Vehicle selected. Stand by. Your vehicle has been delivered to the following location. Please visit.
But I definitely think that the Nomad has a lot of potential for sure. So like for daily drivers, I definitely think like the C8R Pisces, the Nomad, the Avenger Titan are great starters. Where did I... Okay, Hangar 2. But then once you start getting into more expensive ships, the Vanguard series really becomes appealing. Like the Vanguard Harbinger is like, for me personally, is my daily driver. But I don't do a lot of mining and things of that nature. I do a lot of bounty hunting, mercenary work and stuff. Sometimes I do, piracy. It depends if we're doing like group stuff and, want to play in a group together. But, yeah, the interior, I covered the interior already, but I can recover it for those of you that missed it. But, yeah, so as you can see, it's got like a really sleek interior here. You've got a closet that in the future, you'll be able to utilize. And, you got a half bath. So you got a toilet. But you can bed log, which is really cool about this ship. So if you're looking for like a ship that you can take out and stay out in space and stuff like that, you can actually bed log here. You've got a ship inventory, which is really convenient. So you can store stuff, food, water, things of that nature if you're like trying to stay out for prolonged periods of time. It's got a seating area here as well. So if you bring somebody with you, or in the future, like if you're, I guess, eating, you have a dining area and stuff. And of course, you've got your pre-workout and everything over there. So it's a pretty nice little ship. Here we got the cockpit. So I was talking about the interface earlier, and what I like about the interface, which we'll get into. Let me get to these comments real quick. So yeah, 20 SEUs is really good for the ship. Honestly, I agree. Because you can do like cargo hauling as well. So it kind of does do everything, right? Yeah, it's definitely a gym rat ship. So let's go ahead and turn her on.
Welcome. Your journey begins now. All systems operational.
She's also a good sounding ship, She sounds really good. Reminds me of like the Origin Jump Works type style, which, is more like luxury. So it's kind of interesting that, she has that kind of purr to her. Right away, what do you notice about the UI, guys? Doesn't it remind you of Game Glass? For those of you guys, if you know what Game Glass is, the interface is totally like straight out of Game Glass, which is pretty awesome because, you've got a lot of interfaces that you can interact with, on the cockpit and things like that. And most importantly, once you turn on the ship, you have everything that you need right here in the front of you. You've got your comms, you've got your ship's hull HP and shields, you've got your target status, and then you've got your power cycling, like your management for your ship. So you can actually visualize everything that you need for combat situations and things like that too, which is really awesome. So let's double check really fast, because the next thing that we're going to need to get, I believe, is the JS300, and I think that's at Hurl 2. Yeah, it is at Hurl 2 at the Platinum Bay, so let's go ahead and grab that. Yeah, no buttons, man. It's pretty cool. All right, let's see. So Hurl 2, here we go. And let's take off. So right now we're not in combat state yet. So hopefully we don't get attacked by anyone, because we still have these Badgers, the size 2s on the ship. We haven't done any crazy upgrades or anything yet, so we'll see what happens. So right away, I do like the way the ship hovers off the ground. I think that's really cool. So something else that I found interesting. Okay. Really quickly, let's take a look at the landing gear when it goes up. That's sleek, huh? Real sleek.
Contracted.
Alright, so...
Quantum travel engaged.
And there you can see at the top, those are where the other repeaters are. If you decide to put repeaters or cannons, whatever you decide to outfit it with. Personally, for me, I'm going to either use 3 Panthers or the NDB-30s or the Attritions for the lasers, but you can pretty much outfit it with whatever you would like. So, like, personally, like, what are the type of career choices that you're looking for? Things that you do on a regular to make money? Okay. So yeah, honestly, the Nomad can definitely do a lot of stuff. Mining is profitable early on, beginning in the game. Let me show you something. So me, basically, I do a lot of combat, right? So um, I also give away a lot of my money. So if you want to hop in game after I'm done doing this video, I'll probably end up donating the rest of this money. There's going to be a wipe coming soon, and I don't really have much need for money, so let new players enjoy it, you know? Okay, so let's go to the mission area, right? And see here we've got player bounties. These are about 25, 30 Gs. You know, call to arms, which I can put on. But once I like get closer to an area, like I'll have missions that are 60, 70, 80 grand, 100 grand. permission for bounty hunting and things like that. So if you do decide to go like the combat route, you're gonna start getting missions that are like gonna pay really high. Now, mining is profitable based off of the gems that you sell. So if you are going mining, I would recommend going for Hadnite, and Aphorite if you're doing like gem mining. And once you get more experience, go for like Quantanium and things like that. But the thing about Quantanium that's dangerous is that you have about like 10 minutes once you mine it, to basically take it to a refinery before it explodes because it's unstable.
Quantum fuel, 50%.
So I haven't tried doing VHRTs with a Nomad. That's something that I'm gonna actually do later, once I finish doing the upgrades to the ship. So that's basically the portion of the segment that I'm doing right now is just upgrades. And then as soon as the upgrades are pretty much completed, the first thing I'm gonna do is look for a VHRT and basically see how well this ship performs in combat in both space, which I have no doubt. I'm totally confident that in space, this ship is going to fly fine and be able to handle VHRTs no problem. But my concern is in atmosphere, because I do believe that there are going to be other ships that are faster. You know, you're going to have the Gladius, you're going to have... what other ships are in VHRTs? Potentially you have the Hurricane, you know, the Hurricane, which is a heavy fighter. You're going to have things like the Valkyrie and potentially the Vanguard Warden. So those ships are going to be, you know, very strong. Not so much in atmosphere, but just in general with the DPS. Right. Yeah, atmosphere is tricky. If you're finding a ship that flies pretty well in atmosphere and you're looking for an affordable starter ship as well,
Quantum travel complete.
it depends on what affordable is, you know. Are you looking under 1 million? Are you looking under 3 million, under 5 million, you know? It all just depends on what your budget rate is.
Quantum travel engaged.
The Nomad does fly better, in my opinion, in atmosphere than a lot of other ships, though. So I will give it that, to be honest with you. It just doesn't fly as good as, like, the Arrow, the Gladius, or, like, you know, some other ships. But it 100% flies well enough that you can do what you need to do.
Quantum travel complete.
What do you use? Do you use mouse keyboard? Do you use HOTAS? Do you use dual stick? Like, how do you fly in the game? Okay.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
So I run dual stick, and I run a control panel as well. So I don't use my keyboard or my mouse for anything, except for when I'm on feet, like on foot. But I definitely recommend, you know, whenever you can, to definitely upgrade to like a dual stick. It's a lot of fun. It's very immersive, and it's pretty convenient as well in game. The Nomad, no, it would not be good for PvP. If you're looking for like a PvP ship, I've got a large list of ships that you can basically use for PvP. But the Nomad is not something that I recommend for PvP. I think that the Nomad is a fantastic ship for new players that are getting introduced to the game. Ooh, 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 ooh. I forgot my landing gear. I forgot my landing gear. Ooh, that could have been so bad, guys.
Landing gear engaged.
Yeah, I totally forgot about my landing gear.
Landing complete. Have a pleasant stay.
Yeah, I agree. Well, there are really strong keyboard mouse players that play in like Arena Commander, so however you feel comfortable playing, absolutely you can play with keyboard mouse and get away with it. Um, but I think just more for like the immersion,
100%.
I find it enjoyable flying around, you know, with the sticks and controls and things like that. But that's just my, you know, personal preference and what I recommend. But for PvP, you know, a Gladius is great. You know, if you're starting out, you want, like, basically right now the current meta of the game is a light fighter meta. So if you're doing combat or anything like that, you know, you're definitely gonna want like a Gladius, an arrow, a blade, you know, something like that for the time being. And if you're looking for bigger ships, like multi-crew ships, you can use like a Hurricane. I think is great. The Vanguard series are great as well for multi-crew. If you're trying to run more than 2 people, I think the MSR Star Runner is a fantastic ship for like cargo running. And it has like a smuggling bay as well if you want to like, do drug smuggling and things of that nature.
Welcome to the ASOP vehicle
It's got a
retrieval system.
decent like thrust, so like you can basically escape people that are chasing you and quantum away. So it's got 2 size 2 shields. It's got decent hull HP as well, so you can sustain damage. And it's got 2 turrets, one on top and one on bottom. So if you like the MSR, it reminds me of the Millennium Falcon. So it's definitely an interesting ship. If you guys like to do cargo hauling, drug smuggling, and things of that nature. So that's something to keep in mind as well.
Please visit us again.
And also, if there's any ships that you guys want to, you know, see me fly or potentially see me do combat in as well, just let me know. I own a lot of these ships, so I can basically just pull out any ship and do combat and things like that. So right now we're going to go to the Platinum Bay. Or wait, yeah, we're going to the Platinum Bay to pick up the... Where is it? I think it's on this side. Is it on this side? No, it's downstairs. Okay. We're getting the JS300, so we're getting the power plant right now. This is like the station I come to the least. Oh, the pizza place. I always forget. Like, it's across. Yeah, it's across from the pizza place. Okay, it's over here. There it is. So, I don't know if you guys watch anime, but doesn't this guy kind of remind you of, like, One Punch Man a little bit? Like, with the color scheme?
Hey.
Oh, yeah. It's just funny. Alright, so let's get that JS300 and install it. Okay. Okay. Alright, so we got the JS300 installed. Now we just have the coolers and the weapons. So we're going to do the weapons first, because obviously that's going to be the most important. I'm missing a shield generator for whatever reason. Why am I missing a shield generator? I thought I put all 3 of them on there. Oh, that's not good. That's actually not good at all. I'm gonna have to go back and pick up that shield generator. Or I might have to take one from another one of my ships for temporary. That's fine. I'll take it off of one of my light fighters. I'll call... Matter of fact, I'll do that now. I'll call one of my arrows, because I have multiple arrows, and I'll just take it off of there. So. Okay. So. Make sure that I put this on here, because I don't want to leave. Because I could have swore I put all the shield generators on there. Yeah, the power plant's there. That's weird that, for whatever reason, one's missing.
Blue pants, a red striped shirt.
Hey, how you doing, man? Squirrel Lords, how you doing?
Contact the front desk to let us know where you spotted them. Thanks.
Welcome to the ASOP vehicle retrieval
So-
system.
We're gonna go ahead and call... Matter of fact, let's see. Since I'm not using the Saber much, we'll call the Saber.
Your insurance claim has been sent.
Expedite it.
Thank
And
you.
then we're going to use the shield generator from the Saber. Actually, or unless it has a size 2, I don't remember. I'll call both of them just in case. So it should be... Yeah, the Nomad's cool. So far, you know, it's flying good. You know, I'm just doing some upgrades to it. I want to see its maximum performance in combat, because that's where I specialize. That's where my expertise lies, is in combat. So I just want to see how well it's going to perform in combat. So I'm trying to get it completely upgraded so that there's no excuse. And, you know, I want to be able to defend the ship and say, hey, look, it does good in combat, or it doesn't do good in combat. I know that it basically can store, you know, 20 SEU of storage, and it can carry a rock, which is really awesome for mining and things like that. It can run box missions, and it's basically excellent daily driver. But for me, I need a daily driver that can make me money doing like bounties and things like that. Yeah, that's what I figure. It's okay in combat, but as long as it can pull off doing VHRTs, I think that for most people, my target audience, that they're looking for ships, you know, as far as like a daily driver or a starter ship or things like that, they are more PvE oriented. I think that this is going to be a great PvE ship, but I definitely wouldn't recommend it as a PvP ship, right? Right, exactly. So it's interesting that you say that. I agree that the Cutlass is more lethal, but I feel that a Cutlass, you have to have another person as a turret for you, because the turn rate is just, even with VTOL, even if you're using VTOL, whether you're in space or, I mean, better chances of survival in space, right? But if you're in atmosphere, even with VTOL, you come up against like a few Gladiuses, even medium fighters like a Hornet. You know, you're gonna find yourself in trouble once they blow that engine. You're gonna find yourself in a spinning death loop. But at the very least, with a Cuddy Black or a Cuddy Blue, you have enough hull HP that you can escape. I feel like that's what separates the Nomad from the Cuddy in a big way. Oh yeah, I'm a PvP guy. All I do is PvP. So I do like piracy and stuff like that. I interdict, and so combat's my thing. But That's just my honest opinion. I think a great starter ship is the C8R Pisces. I recommend it all the time. You know, it's got a tier 3 medical bed. It's got supplies. It's got med pens. It's got flares. You know, it's got food and drink in case you need it. The bed itself replenishes your food and drink anyway. It flies great in atmosphere. It flies really good in space. The only drawback is for combat, which I've done VHRTs in the C8R Pisces, as well as that it has 2 size 1s. And basically two size 1 missiles. So, but aside from that, it's pretty good. All right, so let's see if we can't swap out this. All right, let's see. Okay. For whatever reason, it's not showing me. It's not showing me the shield generators that I have available. I don't know why. All right, let's see here. So yeah, it's got a JS300 Atlas FR66. So this is what we're gonna take off. So we're gonna remove this. And we're gonna put it onto the Nomad if it will allow me. There it is. Okay, so we're gonna take it off of the Saber. Okay, and there we go. All right, so now we're gonna call the ship and head out.
Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System.
Yeah, man. Like, I fly a Cuddy Blue. Actually, in the last video that I uploaded, I was basically interdicting people and doing PvP combat and stuff in the Cuddy Blue. I had a gunner, CJ, so she was with me, and we were having a great time. It was a lot of fun. Hey, Squirrel Lords, man, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you. Have a great one, man. Alright, so we're retrieving the Nomad. We're going to continue upgrading the ship.
Your vehicle has been delivered to the following locations.
And hey guys, for those of you that are still here, man, feel free to talk to me, ask any questions. I'm an open book right now, so just go ahead and ask me anything that you want. Any questions about the game, you know, anything Star Citizen, feel free, man. Okay, what's our next stop? Area 18 or New Babbage? Because we have to get the Ultra Flows from New Babbage, but we need to get the weapons from 18. So I think we'll get the weapons first, and then we'll travel to New Babbage last, and then we'll start doing some VHRTs and see how she does in combat. I think that sounds like a good idea. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and make sure. Yeah, we're good. All refueled, everything perfect. Let's go ahead and get the map open so that we can travel over to ArcCorp. Okay. Let's do it. Requesting launch.
You are clear to launch.
Yes. The shield will protect anything that's in the cargo bay. Yes, it will. if you lost your shields and you had, like, let's say a vehicle or your SCU in there, potentially you probably would lose it. But I think that with 3 size 1 shields, because the Nomad has 3 size 1 shields, that if you get engaged, you'll have plenty of time to run away before they can even catch you. So if you are mining and you're not focusing on combat and you do have like a rock in your ship, then you basically are not looking for a fight. You can easily run away in this ship with the three size 1 shields. That they won't catch you. You'll basically be able to QT away with plenty, like no problem. That's what I believe. All right, so for some reason it's
Please
yeah.
visit again.
There we go. All right, hardcore.
Quantum travel engaged. Landing gear retracted.
So the cool thing is, we're gonna upgrade this ship and the weapons, so it's gonna have the same DPS, which DPS, if you didn't know, stands for damage per second, as the Gladius. So the Gladius is actually one of the top-rated combat ships in the game. So the fact that you can put 3 size 3 weapons mounted onto this ship is very, very good. I think the only drawback is the turn rate, which isn't that bad. In space, but I think that in atmosphere, once again, it's not a ship that's designated, in quotations, it's not designated for combat. But overall, for a beginner starter ship, I think that this ship is fantastic. So this is actually my first day flying it. Like I said, I've never flown it before, and I'll be able to give more of an opinion in combat after doing a VHRt or two. Maybe start with an HRT, move up to a VHRT, and you know, see how I like it. I also did purchase a rock specifically to try to do some mining potentially afterwards. So we'll see if we have time for that before I have to go to work and things like that. But I definitely want to get like the VHRT stuff done first and see how it does in combat. Also, if you're looking for, are you looking for like a large ship? Is like eventually you want to get like into big capital ships, or are you more invested in something medium size, not too big but not too small, or are you looking more for just something pretty convenient, like you can do everything in, you know? Because there's also the Cutter, which is a new ship that came out recently. That's supposed to be like a good daily driver, good hull HP, good shields. It's not a fighter. Its turn rate is dog poo poo. But you can take damage and basically run away. Like, they'll have to dump like 3 or 4 mags into you before you blow up. So you can essentially run away. Just don't get caught with, you know, your pants down in atmosphere and things like that. Demanding money, don't encourage him. That's funny. Has mining been fixed, or can I still expect a blank rocks? Oh, that's not good. Apparently there's like some kind of glitch going on with mining. It's either server or client dependent. Relogging fixes that issue for me when it occurs. Okay, so that's good to know. That's good to know. Okay. You're mostly solo for now, so you're just trying to optimize real money investment versus in-game investments. Okay, like owning Prospector just to make a few mil. So are you considering like pledging the ship? Is what you're saying, like with real money, or do you mean like purchasing a game like a ship in game and then being able to make money in game with the ship? Yeah.
Quantum travel complete.
Yeah. Oh, if that's the case, if that is the case, then what's your starter ship, by the way? I don't think we talked about what your starter ship is. It the Cutty? Is it the Cutlass? Is that what you were saying? That you have a Cutlass as a starter?
Quantum travel engaged.
The fastest way that I made money, personally, was just doing bounties. Like, it'll take you, like, maybe an hour of just doing, like, doing bounties, and you can make a lot of money doing bounties. Here's what you want to melt? Okay. Yeah, man. I mean, you can definitely get a Gladius and do bounties and try that out. And if for whatever reason you don't like it, then you can just basically go and get something like this if you want to stick to mining or something like that. But yeah, absolutely. For me, I personally think combat is the way to go, like bounties and things like that. But that's just my personal opinion. Other people might disagree and say that mining is more lucrative. But it depends on what you're mining, and that's the other thing, you know. So some people do cargo hauling to make money. So, but I personally think that 20 SCU is not enough to be, you know, have a lucrative business.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
Like VHRTs pay about 60 grand, and I usually knock one out in about 2 minutes. It maybe sometimes even less. If you go straight for the target and you're just trying to make money, you can knock them out so fast. So like in an hour, you know, you can make like $1 million in an hour, maybe more. So just something to consider as well. Okay, hold on. Did I? Yeah.
Landing gear engaged.
I'll get right with you. Let me just land the ship. Okay.
Landing complete. Have a pleasant stay.
So as you can see, like the quantum fuel is not that bad. Like I went all the way from Hurston to here and I used less than 75% of my fuel, so that's not too bad. The one thing that I'm noticing is the hydrogen fuel. Like I basically have done no flying and the hydrogen fuel is already, like, you can see that it's been used. So that is a concern of mine when it comes to the Nomad. So I think that purchasing ships, unless you have like a starter package ship, are easier to purchase in game than to purchase with real money. You have to basically, like when you go to the pledge store and stuff, you have to basically like find the ship and find and see if it's available. Because like some ships, like the Vanguard series, aren't even available in the pledge store. At least from the last time that I checked, it wasn't. But I don't know if it is right now, but sometimes ships are available, sometimes they're not available in the pledge store. I don't know why, but yeah. I think that in game the Gladius doesn't cost a lot. It's like 1.1 million or something like that. Maybe 1.2 or 1.3 at the most. But yeah, I definitely would pledge something like that personally, in my opinion. But have you checked out the C8R Pisces? It's less expensive, but I've done VHRTs. I actually have videos of me doing VHRTs. I did the 890 jump mission. It fits inside of the 890 jump, which is really convenient as well because like it's a medical rescue. So if you're doing like medical rescue, you can fit it inside of an 890 jump, or inside of a Carrack, things like that. And like I said, I talked about the tier 3 bed and other things. Like the C8R is an awesome ship, so I definitely recommend that as well if it's just something that you're trying to use. But if you're trying to make money quick, yeah, get a Gladius. The Gladius is a fantastic ship.
All UEE common laws are still in effect.
Please visit us again.
Yeah, the Nomad, I think, with confidence, I think that the Nomad could do low risk, medium risk, high risk bounties. The only thing that I'm wondering with the Nomad is, can it do very high risk bounties? Can it do group bounties, and things like that? So that's what I want to test. I want to see, you know, how well it will perform in a stress test when it comes to combat. So it can absolutely do HRTs, I have no doubt, and medium risk targets, high risk targets, things like that. But I want to see, can it do very high risk targets? Because that's where bounty hunting starts to become more lucrative. But by then you would have made enough money to purchase a new ship, you know, like a Gladius or an Arrow. Funny enough, we can go look at the ships now as well, before I do any upgrades and things like that. We can go and look at the Arrow and the Gladius, show you how much it's going to cost in game, and because those ships in game are not that expensive, and I do believe that those are great ships for doing bounty hunting. But once again, it seems like you want something that does everything, so I think that you should definitely give the Nomad a try and see if you like it. If not, I mean, really, you have nothing to lose, you know. Okay. Yeah, I think that if you're a good pilot, you can take just about any ship, as long as it's well outfitted. So if you upgrade the components, the coolers, the shield generators, the weapons, if you upgrade everything, I think that any ship can really just do about any kind of bounty missions. Bunkers. Don't forget about bunkers. Bunkers are lucrative as well. Those will make you a lot of money as well. Sometimes even more so than bounty hunting. So that's another thing to consider. But yeah, usually I never recommend stock ships. Stock ships are usually pretty terrible. So as long as you use Urkel games and upgrade the components accordingly, I think that most ships will turn out pretty good. Except for the Origin 100 series. Those ships are terrible. So yeah, let's go take a look at those ships very quickly before we do anything else. Just to kind of take a quick look. Which will buy the other first? Yeah, you can make money in any ship, absolutely. So personally, like, my pledge ship was the Aurora, right? And then I decided to upgrade to a C8R Pisces. And from my personal experience, with 2 size 1s and 1 size 1 shield, you can already tell that's like the worst of the worst possible candidate for combat. But I was able to do VHRTs because of how agile, nimble, and how well it flew. So that's why I usually recommend that ship. Because a skilled pilot will get a fun experience out of getting a challenge, out of flying and doing VHRTs and things like that, but also be able to still complete it and have fun. If your goal is to make fast money, you're not going to go wrong with a Gladius. 100%. You're not going to go wrong with a Gladius. So, the Anvil Hawk is another affordable ship. It has an EMP generator. It's got good weapons, you know, once you upgrade them and stuff like that. And I think it flies pretty decent. In atmosphere, it doesn't fly too great, but you know what? A lot of ships don't fly too great in atmosphere, so... There's the Origin 315P and the 325A Interceptor, Combat Interceptor. So, you know, those are good starter ships. But let's go to what we're looking for. If you're running with a friend, the Hurricane is default like one of the best ships for bounties. Running multi-crew, I really like the Valkyrie. Love that ship. It's an amazing ship. The Mustang Alpha's a ship I wouldn't recommend anybody fly for combat. Like, its wings are paper. Its wings are paper. You get hit with anything, somebody literally looks at you wrong and you're just spinning out in a death loop. It's just kind of hilarious. The Origin 300 series, the combat variant, not this one, this is the racing variant, but this is like what most people use as the daily driver, but not everyone has like a 26 million. You know, I've got a Carrack, but I never use it. I literally never use my Carrack because it's not what I do. You know, it's not. It doesn't fit in my what I do. But I have a Carrack. All right, so Xperia Blade. If you're doing combat, this is a meta ship right now. It's really strong. The only thing about this ship that I don't like is the UI interface is red, so you never know if you've taken damage and things like that. The Banu Defender's strong. It's good. But, hold on, it's up there somewhere. Where was it? Right here. Yeah, like, the Banu Defender's cool. I just, for me personally, like, I feel like in combat it lacks against the light fighter meta. If you're going to do any combat, you should have a light fighter. So, the Gladius, I think you purchase at Lorville. But here, we're looking at the... Where is it? I think I passed it, didn't I? The Xperia Talon also is another one. Another good ship for combat. Just a Prowler, a Bandit Defender, Carrack, Ballista. There it is. The Anvil Arrow. Yeah, the blade is nice. Yeah, the Banu is the subscriber for this month, yeah. A lot of people, I see them flying it around. So this is only 972,000. Like, you can make this so fast in the game. And the thing is that this ship in particular, like, if you outfit it with 2 size 1 Bulldog repeaters and 2 size 3 NDB 30s or attrition 3s or Panther repeaters, absolutely 100% going to decimate any PvE, any PvP. This is the ship that I recommend. This, the Gladius, and the Blade are the top 3 ships that I recommend for PvP and PvE if that's what you're looking to make money. But anyways, let's get back to getting to these upgrades. Yeah, those are like definitely the top 3 meta ships in my opinion for combat and PvP right now currently. I think that's going to be subject to change in 3.18. I think that in 3.18 multi-crew ships are going to be a lot stronger, especially with the ballistic changes. So the ballistic changes and the distortion changes, EMP changes, all that. gonna be really strong. Honestly, not really. In my opinion, according to like the DPS calculator, right? If we go here, there's literally currently no difference between the neutron repeaters, which are the NDB-30s. There's no difference between these. There's no difference between the attritions, and there's no difference between the Panthers. Like if we literally put them all side by side, like they all do the same. So like the attritions, right? If you look at the attritions, so attritions, look, 60, 500, 1400, 1540, 15, 2, and 1024, right? So those are the numbers. All right, so then we go to Panthers, and you see it's the same numbers. And then we go to the NDB-30s, and you see it's the same numbers. So currently in the game right now, there's absolutely no difference, according to the DPS calculator. But the only difference with the NDB-30s is the color. So if you like the purple, but yeah, in the future there might be differences. But currently, right now, there's just no difference as far as damage per second done or anything else. I just like the NDB-30s because they're the purple blasters. So yeah. Also, I think the attritions, from what I've heard from other players, produce more heat or consume more power, something like that. Like I said, when I look at the DPS calculator on Urkel games, it's pretty much the same, but I don't know how accurate Urkel games is. It is basically 317.5. I don't know how often they've updated their, you know, their platform, their website, so I'll tell you what, you decide for me. What should I get? Should I get Panthers? Should I get attritions? Or should I get NDB-30s to put on this ship? What do you think? I should be able to buy all three from here. We'll see. But yeah. I'll let you decide for me. The NDBs? Okay. So let's see. Yeah, they're supposed to be all the same. So here are the Panthers right here. Now I just need to see where the NDBs are, which I didn't see them here. Yeah. So I'm glad I'm not crazy, you know, that you heard the same thing about the attritions. So I hear that right now Panthers are usually the way to go, and the NDBs. Now, I will say this about the NDB-30s that I've personally noticed. Am I just not seeing them here, or am I crazy? But did I pass them? Or are they just not here? Let me... Vehicle weapons, okay. Guns. Alright, let's see. Because I feel like I've looked and I'm not seeing them here, but on Urkel games, like once again, it says that they're here. Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and buy the Panthers just in case. Let's go ahead and buy them. So we're gonna buy, what is it? 2 Panthers, right? No, it's 3 Panthers, sorry. 3 Panthers. Need to buy one more. Yeah, I guess Urkel lied. Look, like if we can literally go to it and you click on NDB-30s and it says right here, center mass at area 18, New Babbage. I mean, we're going to go to New Babbage as well, so we could probably purchase them there as well when we go to get the Ultra Flows. So We can put the Panthers on for now, and then we can switch them to the NDBs when we get over there. But oh wait, there's the NDB 26s. So they have the NDB 26s. Oh, there they are. They're right here. That's crazy, right? How they didn't pop up before. Oh well, I guess I'll buy 3 of these too. All right. Well, that's cool. All right. Well, can never use. Yeah, it is the menu. I agree. All right, so let's go ahead and apply those. Hey, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the stream. Don't be shy. Stop by, say hi. Any questions you might have about Star Citizen, go ahead and feel free to ask at any time. Yeah, I don't know, like the UI in the game, sometimes the interface is weird when it comes to like selecting like a hold on. Oh, I gotta select it from the very puck. Let's see. All right. Now, should I do 1 Panther and 2 NDB repeaters, or should I just do all NDB repeaters? What do you think? Because I'm fine for either or. It just depends. What do you think? Let you guys decide for me. Do I put 1 Panther on with the 2 NDBs, or do I put all NDBs? Okay. I'm just going to go all NDBs then. I was kind of thinking about the capacitors. I wasn't sure if like 2 NDBs and 1 Panther might have an effect on the capacitors. I know having multiple of the same weapon on will lower the limit of rounds that you have. So I kind of wanted to test it. But you know what? Let's go ahead and do that. Let's do 1 Panther and the 2 NDBs just for fun. Let's just check that out, right? It might look cool too. So, all right. Okay. So let's go ahead and is there anything else that we need from here? I don't think so. I think we've got just about everything we need so far, except for the coolers, which we can get at New Babbage. We can check and see what coolers they have in Dumpers Depot to see what's the next best cooler in case we don't want to travel all the way to Babbage just for coolers, but I personally think that it'll be worth it. We don't want our systems to overheat mid-fight doing a VHRt, so yeah. But yeah, I think lucrative if you're trying to make money, you know, definitely bounty hunting, bunker running, mining, cargo hauling are like the 4 most lucrative ways to make money in the game. Now, once you have money, the most fun ways to potentially make money in the game is, you know, piracy or jump town. So alright, so let's see what kind of coolers we can get here. So let's go to systems. And let's see, Urkel Games. Alright, so Ultra Flows, right? So Eco Flows, Thermax would be the 3rd best. So we would be literally losing out on like 40,000 cooling rate though. And we would also be losing out on hull HP at that point. So alright, let's see what we have here and then we'll go from there. We got the cool cores, the snowpacks. So snowpacks are not terrible. I've used them on other ships, but let's see what we get here. I don't even think snowpacks are size 1s, are they? No, it's not. It's like I think it's a size 2. They got 0 rushes for stealth, but I don't want stealth. Snow blinds are terrible. Yeah, they're like absolutely awful. Cryo Star. So the only options that we're gonna have are the Ultraflows, the Ecoflows, or the Thermax. I wouldn't go anything under Thermax here. So if they don't have any Thermax, then we're not gonna use any of these. Doesn't look like they have it, guys. Yeah. That's unfortunate. We don't have any coolers here that's going to be suitable. Yeah. Yeah, they are 2s. Yeah. That's okay. We'll take the trip. You guys will keep me company. But yeah, the thing, like I said before, that I like about the Nomad is the 3 size 1 shields. There's not a lot of ships in the game that have 3 size 1s or 3 size 2s or 3 size 3 shields. So I would like to see CIG implement that more. Like, I think that the Saber, you know, the Saber Raven or the regular Saber, you know, even the Hornet, you know, like medium fighters should have 3 size 1 or 3 size 2 shields. Not 2, I'm sorry, not size 2 shields. 3 size 1 shields. And stuff like that. You know, we would like to see a lot more of that. Especially with the new flight modes coming to the game. They're going to make the game slower. Like, geez, look at this. Slower speeds for combat, right? So that means that if you have more shields, the fights will last longer, since they're basically forcing you to stay in the Wraith fight longer. But what do you think about that? What do you feel about the new flight model? You know, do you think it's going to be a good thing for combat? I think it'll be not like the worst thing ever. It'll make it harder for people to run away. I know that for a fact. But at the same time, for people not wishing to engage in combat, I feel like it could be a little difficult for them to escape. But we'll see what they decide to do with the quantum boosting and then, you know, the quantum jump as well. Looks like we got a lot of new people in this server that are dealing with some of the bugs in Star Citizen. This guy's got the drinking bug. So, yeah, I hate when that happens, but, you know. Well, someone's giving away a bunch of stuff. That's cool. Nice of them to do.
Now arriving.
Yeah, I agree. The 30Ks are definitely really annoying, especially when you're in the middle of doing something and then all of a sudden you just 30K. Yeah, these guys are really leaving a bunch of gear everywhere, huh? My goodness. So have you ever noticed, like, I know 318 isn't here, right? But I'm starting to notice that they're sneaking in, like persistence. Like, I'm starting to see it, and I'm starting to see other things from 318 that are being added into the game, even though, like, it hasn't been patched. But look at all this, like, all this stuff out of nowhere. Look at this, and it's just here, you know, it's just here. So even though we didn't get like a full like patch, or we haven't gotten a patch yet,
to the ASOP
I feel like they're adding things into the game little by little. That's what I think the same thing. I think it's not fully implemented, but that they're definitely starting to add little bits and pieces into it. Oh, I appreciate that, you know.
Vehicle selected. Stand by. Your vehicle has been delivered to the following location.
So what do you got going on today, Nomad?
Whatever your transaction, we wish you a beneficial and prosperous stay.
Or I should say this evening.
Please.
All right, all right. Yeah, that's cool, man. I'm just trying to... Why did they put my ship all the way over there? I'm just trying to get some streaming, you know, done before I have to head into work. Just have some fun, you know, with a ship I've never flown before and give my honest review. Such a big hangar, right? They gave me like the biggest possible hangar for... Whoa. For this ship. This is hilarious. Alright. It's too funny. Yeah. Oh man. I'm telling you, I really do like the interior. I like the design. I'm really hoping that it does well in VHRt combat after all these upgrades. I'm like fingers crossed, because not only do I want you to be able to pledge this ship and really enjoy it and get the most out of it,
Journey begins now.
but I myself might even use this as like a substitute daily driver for something like, you know, my Vanguard when I'm doing things like cave mining or you know, which I usually use my Cutlass Blue and stuff like that, but even just for other things like, you know, VHRTs themselves, and you know, just to have something else to fly. I feel like the more ships you have to fly is more exciting, you know, makes the game a lot more exciting for me. So, alright, it's not letting me do restocking, so I guess we're just gonna have to deal with whatever quantum fuel we have, which is fine. We should have plenty of fuel to make it over there to Microtech anyway. So yeah, my schedule's like kind of all over the place. So Thursdays and Fridays I work in the afternoon, and then Saturdays and Sunday, which today's technically like, you know, Saturday night, so I work overnight. So
Landing gear retracted.
looks good, huh? The city looks cool. All right, let's get going. Yeah, drug running is great. I like doing it in the MSR. I've actually done it before a few times. But I'm excited for when the Corsair makes it into the purchasable in-game.
Travel engaged. Quantum travel.
I'm definitely not one of those people that spends like hundreds of dollars on ships. I can't justify it, you know?
Quantum travel engaged. Quantum travel complete.
I agree. I agree that drug running should absolutely be more profitable. Something else that I think should be more profitable is bounty hunting for players. Like, you make more money bounty hunting. Like, check this out. Look, ERT 25 grand just for like the ERT, VHRT 17 grand. You know what I mean? But then once you get into the group bounties are easy and you make a lot of money. But 25 grand for a player, that's really low in my opinion. Like really, really low. You know, I think you should make a lot more money with player bounties. They're a lot harder to apprehend. They're a lot harder to combat, and a lot harder to locate because they're constantly moving around. They're not just staying, you know, at a place waiting for you to go kill them. Essentially. Exactly. So I agree with you 100%. I think the higher the risk, the higher the reward. And CIG should definitely implement that in the game so that we're rewarding players that are essentially going for more player interaction versus just doing, you know, whatever PvE missions and stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with PvE missions. I just think that when you're involving player interaction, it adds that extra layer of difficulty, and it should be rewarded when you complete something like that. I definitely agree with that. Exactly. And I've actually ran into a situation like that several times where, you know, they're basically squatting at Korea, and there's like 6 of them, and they're just hanging out. Or even at one of the HDMS Armistice zones. I've gone there before, and they've got ballistas, you know, so they got anti-air defenses. They've got tanks, they've got Corsairs, and they've got a bunch of fighters, and you arrive and you're like, whoa. I definitely wasn't expecting all this just to capture this one person. So, yeah, I agree. While we're quantuming, I'll be right back. I'm going to grab an energy drink. I'll be right back. Okay. All right, let's see what's going on in chat. Sorry. The can didn't want to open right. Okay. So Nomad, do you do a lot of PvP,
Quantum fuel, 50%.
or have you done like any PvP so far in the game? Not in SC? Okay. Yeah, PvP in this game is a little weird. How do I put this? Like, Star Citizen is such a weird game when it comes to PvP. Like, you know, there's a fine line between like piracy, bounty hunting, griefing, you know, and a lot of players The community's divided. So, in my opinion, I think the community's divided between two types of players, right? Players that don't want any PvP, and then players that do want PvP. So, the players that don't want any PvP essentially don't want to be bothered by any players. So, anytime that they get killed or engage with a player in a way that they don't like, they typically like to complain or report people. And then people that like obviously do like PvP just have fun with PvP, you know. But it's a very divided community. So, which makes playing with other people when you start blowing up people, you know, it's tough. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. You know, a lot of people that I know that play this game actually either came from Eve Online or Tarkov, like Escape from Tarkov. Some people are like Arma 3 players. Me personally, what's hilarious is this game was so under the radar for me, and I found out about it when 317.2 came out. So it was like about a year ago, maybe less than a year ago, probably like 9 months, 10 months. And I was playing No Man's Sky at the time, and I was waiting for Starfield, because that's the game that I was like, oh man, Starfield looks sick, it's a Bethesda title, I'm really excited for it. And then this game showed up on YouTube as like a related search, and I was like, let me check this out. And I was like, wow, this game looks really, really cool. You know, let me give it a shot. Yeah, still waiting for Starfield, yeah. So, I'm really excited for Starfield, but we'll see. Hopefully it doesn't disappoint, you know. After playing Star Citizen, I'm hoping it doesn't break my heart, because with all the bugs in Star Citizen, I still think that this game has so much more to offer than a lot of other games. We just need more game loops, that's it. So, that's all we really need right now. Hmm. Yeah. It has more value, in my opinion, for playing and stuff. I'm definitely having a lot of fun with the game, especially since I've joined several different Discords and groups on Facebook as well, since there's a lot of different Star Citizen groups you can find. So finding people to play with and do things with and stuff is always fun, especially when you're doing like events and things like that. So like Siege of Orison or Jump Town.
Travel complete.
Hey, we finally made it. All right, Babbage. Wrong button. Okay.
Quantum travel engaged.
Oh man. All right. Looks like it's nighttime over here, but that's fine. We're in a city, so it should be well lit up enough, anyways.
Quantum travel complete.
How's your experience been flying in the dark so far? I agree. Or at least give us a like night vision mode on the ship, you know. They obviously have scanners that light up the area, so they could easily give us like some kind of permanent radar that just keeps doing this on its own instead of me having to continuously keep pressing the button to see, you know. But yeah.
Contact.
Alright, we've got some enemies down here. Let's go ahead and scan them. We're in an armistice zone, so should be fine. It's an Origin 600i, so they probably parked outside of the area just so that they can go inside without having any issues. Which I like that about Microtech. I feel like that's pretty convenient.
Thank you. Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
Yeah, I can feel that turbulence in the Nomad, I'll tell you that right now. Even just going straight, I can feel it want to pull me to the side or to the other side, so maintaining control is kind of annoying when I'm boosting to increase the speed. Alright, where's my landing bay? Do I have to get closer? Because I've requested landing already. There it is. I hope that guy's not going to turn around and try to pad ram me or anything. I find it very bizarre for players to fly that close to you when departing. But we'll see. You never know what you're going to get in this game, you know? Yeah, they gave me another really huge hangar. Alright. Beautiful landing.
Landing complete. Have a pleasant stay.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is. Like, there's people that just like pad ramming and griefing, and you know what's funny is, like, people throw the word out griefing, and I feel like they don't really understand what griefing means. To me, and this is my definition of griefing. To me, my definition of griefing is when another player prevents you from playing the game. So if you're trying to leave a hangar and they keep pad ramming you, they jump servers to follow you, and they keep doing the same thing. They don't let you play the game. They're constantly following you and killing you for no reason, no gain. You know, you're trying to leave to go do cargo hauling, right? You haven't really arrived or filled your ship with cargo, but they're trying to kill you. And so far in the game, I don't think there's physicalized cargo unless it's been slightly implemented. But that's something that's going to come in 3.18. So that's why, you know, I'm a little confused as to why people do the things that they do to kill other players and things of that nature. Well, it looks like I'm having some technical difficulties on the stream, so hopefully that'll go away. Not sure what exactly is going on, if you can still hear me or not, but hopefully the picture quality will come back shortly. It might just be something to do with YouTube right now, but just bear with me here. I'll try to figure out what's going on. Okay. Alright, just stand by for a second. Let's see what's going on with this. Why is this acting? Oh, it's fine for you? Okay. Yeah, for whatever reason, it's showing me that it's dealing with some technical difficulties. Exactly, like once you start harassing a player, I believe that That's when the griefing starts. So it's okay to pirate somebody. So if you interdict somebody and you stop somebody from going from point A to point B, and you give somebody an option like, hey, you know, I basically stopped your ship, and I know that you're cargo hauling.
Welcome
I know
to
that
the
you're
ASOP
carrying,
vehicle retrieval system.
you know, this amount of hadnite in your ship or whatever that you mined, for instance, silver, whatever. And I know how much it's worth. So you're gonna pay me, you know, a million, or let's say 600K, whatever. It doesn't matter. You're being pirated, right? So, and you're still gonna make a profit. We're not gonna blow your ship up. You get to go. Just pay us the money and you can go. Now, if they refuse to comply and you blow them up, it's still not griefing because you're gonna collect the physicalized cargo and you're gonna store it onto your ship. So I don't think people understand the difference, and they pool it together. And I don't like that. But that's just my personal opinion. And I know it's not a popular one. A lot of people really don't like PvP in this game.
Please visit us again. Goodbye.
Okay, is it okay now though? The stream?
Ready to upgrade? Located in the plaza, the factory line has all of Microtech's latest offerings.
Or is it still... Yeah, exactly. In Rust, it's the same thing. Tarkov is the same thing. Like, that's why in Tarkov, a lot of people like to, when they collect their gear, they'll put it in a backpack and they'll hide it. So in case they get griefed or get killed or whatever, they'll be able to come back in the game, grab some gear, and then be able to get back into the fight. Awesome, thanks. But yeah, like, the way I look at it, the way, like, PvE players like to define griefing is... You don't play the game the way I want you to play the game, so therefore you're griefing. And that's not what it means, and people like to just throw it out there. But I digress. You know, we can get into that all day and night. But yeah, no, I'm glad that you understand. So many people just don't get it, you know? I'll give you a perfect example. Security Post Korea, SPK, is a location in Crusader off of the Moon of Selen that you can clear your crime stat. And once 318 is a thing, I love how I move to the side and he still finds a way to like bump into me. But once basically 318 comes, that's going to be the only place that you can clear your crime stat instead of like the bunkers, right? So I like to fly around that area and hang out there with a group of people and wait for people to come that are clearing their crime stat. Now, mind you, these are criminals coming to clear their crime stat, right? So they're red player, they're fair game. We're just going to stop them from doing that, kill them, whatever. Okay, they're criminal players. Now, what if I'm a criminal player and I'm hanging around SPK? What does that mean? Well, what that means is I'm inviting bounty hunters to come try to take my bounty. It's a PvP location, but people might argue, oh, you're just flying around a station, so you're griefing because you're not allowing people to come or go or whatever. So it's a whole thing. Yeah. So what are some of your favorite games? I'm new to PC. I've been playing PC for about 3 years. Basically been a console player for most of my life, but I built my own PC. I've got my own, you know, gear in here and everything. It's a pretty modern PC, so it's got pretty, like, I don't know. I don't want to call it high spec, but it's moderately high, I guess. It's definitely above enthusiast level, for sure. But I'm running 1440 dual monitor, you know, so, yeah. I agree. You know, with having crime in the game, it's literally the whole point is going after criminals and having player interaction. That's the whole point of multi-crew ships as well, is player interaction. CIG wants a massive MMO. This 100-player servers is just the beginning. That's what server meshing is for. You know, they're gonna want to have like 1,000-player servers, big, massive, like groups of people getting together and doing fantastic things. It's gonna be amazing once the game is, you know, completed. If they don't derail from, you know, what they should be doing, but we'll see, man. Hopefully the players that detest PvP are not going to have an influence on CIG. I really hope that they're not going to deter them from the path. Yeah, speaking of single-player survival games, have you played a game called Green Hell? You can play with people as well. It's actually like co-op online for up to 4 people. If you haven't heard of it, you should definitely check it out. I highly recommend it. Maybe we can even play it together. Yeah, man. Love that game. Alright, so we're here for coolers. Ultra flows. There we go. Okay. So we got 2 ultra flows. Let's go ahead and put it onto the ship. And we finally upgraded the Nomad 100%. All right. Let's get into this VHRt. You know what? Story mode for Green Hell is so trippy, man. It's awesome. It takes turns of events that you would have never expected, which is freaking cool. But the gameplay itself is just so awesome. Like, you know, especially when you're playing with people, they incorporated building shelters and trees now, so you can have like tree houses and stuff now. So that's really cool. So. But yeah, I've played like survival mode and stuff before as well. Alright. Oops. Where am I going? Yeah, we're going to the exit. If you're interested in doing like the story mode together, I mean, we can both like play and do a recording playthrough as well. I've been wanting to do something with Green Hell for quite some time, and I just haven't gotten to do it. Yeah, Sons of the Forest. Yeah, yeah, it did just come out. That's another game that I'm gonna be heavily playing as well. I don't know if I should do like my first playthrough like on stream, you know, to get like my live first impression, reaction, and everything of the game. Or if I should just, you know, record it all. I don't know. I feel like it's one of those games that's very niche. I mean, Star Citizen's niche too, so what am I talking about, right? Yeah, I have Discord. I usually put it in the descriptions, but I can give you my Discord right now. So it's Horde, HORD 616 hashtag. I think it's, you know what? Let me give you the right number. I think it's 6490 or I'm gonna look it up right now. Just give me a second. I think it's 6490. Let me see. Yeah. So it's Horde 616 hashtag 6490. Oh yeah, 100%. I think a lot more people are going to be waiting for the forest. I think Star Citizen has really it's got mixed emotions for people, especially for players that have been pledging since 2011. I feel like you know, those people have either given up or are just waiting for the game to just come out already and kind of running out of patience, you know. Since I just recently found out about Star Citizen within the year, you know, for me, it's like I can wait, you know. Yeah. It's still, like, people don't understand that it's still really heavily in alpha state.
Capsule now approaching
The
station.
game is super
Stand clear
janky
of
and buggy,
passengers.
but if you can look past it, it's a lot of fun to play.
Capsule now approaching.
But the thing is, you know, most games these days, you know, have a lot of bugs on release anyways. I'm just hoping Star Citizen is going to be one of those games that they address the bugs while they're developing the game as well. And don't forget about those bugs because, you know. I mean, if it gets finished, sheesh, we'll just have to wait and see. But as long as they're gonna let us have open access to play the game, you know, I'm fine. I'll potentially invest more money into the game when it's finished. But until it's finished, like, I can't do it. Especially since it's an online only. What happens when the servers go down? The thing is, here's my thing with Star Citizen, right? Like,
Nearing next stop.
even though it's an alpha, when you look at every single detail in the game, like, you can literally zoom in on the seat. You can see the imperfections, the stains, the scuffs on the floor. Like, you can look anywhere and see the amount of detail that's in the game, right?
The capsule will be leaving
Everywhere.
the station
Look at that. Look at the ceiling. The dents in the ceiling, the chipped paint, the scratches, the dirt on the walls. Look at this, filthy. Where's the custodian? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's so much detail in the game. So, people say, oh, the game's not optimized. Yeah, you're right. It might not be the most optimized game if you're running hardware that's from 2 generations ago. Yeah, you're running like a 1080 Ti or something. Yeah, of course it's not going to run great, right? But if you're running like a 3060, 3070 Ti, 3080, 3090, 4090, you know, anything from basically 2020 and on, the game's going to pretty much run great, which, in my opinion, I understand where people are coming from. This game was in development since 2011, so... But the game's got so much detail, and they keep improving. If you look at the game's graphics from 2011, and you compare it to now, I mean, you've played Green Hell. Look at these plants. You know what I mean? So it's, I don't know. It's just one of those things. Exactly. I agree. But I'm hoping that the game eventually does get optimized, because it's a beautiful game. Look at the window. Look at the condensation on the window.
Where creative innovation
I don't know.
meets innovative creativity.
It's things like that that, you know, really make me excited for when the game does come out.
Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System.
Yeah, their team is growing.
Remember,
Their team is definitely growing now, so
keep a check
hopefully
on all personnel.
that means that we're going to get more game sooner rather than later. We'll see.
Vehicle selected.
Only time will
Stand
tell.
by.
Only time will tell. Give me 1 second. Alright, hangar 6. Alright. Alright. Sorry about that. Okay, so we're going to hangar 6, and we're going to get this VHRt. Or should I start with an HRT? Maybe I should start with an HRT first, and then move my way up to the VHRT. What do you think, Nomad? Yeah, I think so too. As long as they continue to fix bugs while also developing the game, I think that we'll be okay. Everything will be alright, but we're still waiting on 318, you know, and there's so much that 318 has to offer for me, personally. Might as well warm up. Yeah, you're right. Okay. Yeah, there's so much that 318 has to offer to me with soft death, being able to board ships. If you incapacitate a ship with distortion weapons, they have a 5 minutes of being basically deactivated, which is freaking awesome. You know, there's just so much now that
Your journey begins now.
is going to become
All
available.
systems operational.
Okay, so from what I'm seeing, it basically looks like it didn't make a difference on the capacitor levels. So let's see, when I cycle all to weapons, what do we get? 24. So the capacitors on the Nomad seems like not super great. Definitely, we cannot miss our shots. Our shots have to count, which means we're going to burst fire. We're not going to full auto. All right. So now that we know that, that's something that we're going to have to keep in mind as we proceed to do these bounty missions. So it looks like I don't have anything here
Quantum fuel 100%.
for player bounty. I mean, for PvE bounties, which is weird. There's an 890 jump. Here, let's put call to arms on. That's crazy. So I don't have any PvE bounties here and Microtech, which is like insane. So what I'm gonna do is let's head over to the space station, and let's see if it'll give me different missions once I get there to Port Tressler. Sometimes it does that. I don't know. But if not, we can always go to Hearst and do them there. Persistence is a big step. Yeah, persistence is huge. It's a huge step for them. And it's something that I feel like is ambitious. It's something that hasn't really been done. Same thing with the server meshing. Everything that they're trying to do right now is very impressive. I'm excited to see once they get past these
You are clear to launch.
really huge milestones, you know, because that's just exactly what it is. It's just such an ambitious milestone that not a lot of other developers have really accomplished themselves. So CIG's doing some impressive work here, you know. Hopefully they can clutch out a W here. I'm excited to see the finished product myself. What just happened? Hold on, I can't see. What just happened? I lost my weapon systems? What do you mean? What just happened? My ship just blew up. Like, I couldn't see anything. The light...
Please visit again.
Look at this. You can't see any... Look at that. What the heck, man? Oh my goodness. I have to land and do repairs. That's crazy.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
That's unreal, man. I don't believe that just happened to me. I lost all my weapon systems. Alright, where are you gonna have me land? I can repair the ship, and then, there we go, okay. The thing is, I wasn't expecting this. Like, well, now I can see, but I'm better off not putting the lights on. Jeez, man. Apparently I hit the hangar door or something. That's probably what happened. That's unfortunate. Yeah, it's like I couldn't see.
Landing complete. Have a pleasant stay.
You believe that just happened to me? Yeah, Ark is a great game. I really love Ark. Ark was a lot of fun for me as well. Booby trapped. Yeah, I was like, what just happened? I just turned my lights on and then I couldn't see anything. I hit the hangar door. I must have lost the top guns. That's probably what happened. Let's just double check and make sure that everything's intact now. Alright, so we got my top guns. Alright, hey, it actually matches with the ship pretty well. I'm not crazy about the bottom Panther, though. Like, I don't know. I feel like all the ship guns should match, but we'll see how it does, you know, at this point. Alright, take two. Take two. Let's see, this time I'm not going to turn my lights on. Take off.
You are clear to launch.
My goodness. I'm just glad I didn't explode. Honestly, like, sheesh. Alright, we made it out. And that hangar door is like,
Landing
I don't know.
retracted.
Anyway, alright, we made it out of there.
Please visit again.
Like, check this out, right? Look at the condensation as we're heading in the atmosphere and we're gonna leave, right? You see all of the condensation on the glass, and what other game offers that kind of detail? Like, so, like I said, my opinion may not be a popular one, but I think the game looks good. It's impressive for what it is, and it runs relatively good as well. For I say that, and I think did we crash? Oh, okay. So yeah, like I thought the game crashed for a second. Come on. There we go. Alright, let's see now if we got any better missions for Bounty Hunter. You know what? We're just gonna... We got beacons, medical assistance, personal transport. Those are definitely setups. I guarantee those are setups. Alright. So we're probably going to head to Hurston.
Quantum travel engaged.
Let's go ahead and set a route.
Quantum travel complete.
Because Hurston's my main area, except for Crusader. It depends. If I decide to be a criminal, I go to Crusader, but we're playing the good guy right now, so got to Hurston and do these bounties.
Quantum travel engaged.
So
Quantum
Nomad,
travel complete.
have you found like a player that you like to play with whenever you do run your cuddy, or do you usually run your cuddy solo? Because I definitely don't recommend
Quantum travel
running the cuddy by
engaged.
yourself. Solo so far, okay. The Cuddy has its strengths and weaknesses, and the thing about the Cutlass is having a turret gunner, because your turret has 2 size 3 Panthers, right? So having those 2 size 3s watching your back while someone's chasing you is really strong, because, you know, those 2 size 3s can potentially get that guy off of you. Really strong. Well, I'll tell you what, it's about to be 6 o'clock now, my time, Eastern. I don't know where you're located. I'm pretty sure you're in the U.S. as well. I don't know if you're East or West Coast. But, if you hop on, you know, after I'm done doing this Nomad stuff, we can definitely run together if you want to do some stuff. Let me go ahead and check my Discord. If you added me. Yeah, man, for sure. Hit me up on Discord. I'll be here for a little bit longer. He doesn't deal in hypotheticals. That's funny. That's pretty tragic, though, that he hit his eject button and ejected out of his ship on departure. It's unfortunate. Crack my neck. My neck is just. Oh man. Headset may not look heavy, but it's heavy. It's like all metal on the inside. Comfortable, but it's heavy. For a while, it's like you ever watch Dragon Ball and you see like Piccolo wearing his turban. Yeah. I've got a red toggle switch with a flip up cover, and that's what my eject button is. On my control panel. But I don't even remember what the eject button was on the. Yeah, the thing is, this headset is really good. Usually I run the mic with it, but because I have this mic now, I just run this on the boom arm, and it's way more convenient. But it's got the mute. You can mute voice and mute sound separately by rotating sides here. And you can mute the sound entirely. So the in-game sound is now muted just by clicking it. Or I can mute the voice separately. So it's like super convenient. It just does stuff that the earbuds, don't do. So if I need to hear what someone's saying, I can mute the sound in the game. If I need to hear the game, I can mute the player entirely, as well as muting my mic and stuff like that, just by tapping and rotating, adjusting the sound of voice, adjusting the sound of the player, and in game as well. So it's pretty convenient. And I've got a stream deck, so if for whatever reason I want to mute this mic, I just press the mute button on my stream deck. Also, what do you think of this? What do you think of this here? Like, it'll pop up. I know the stream's a little bit behind.
Quantum travel complete.
So we're here at Hurston. Let's go ahead and see if we can't get us a mission now. So here we got an HRT. We'll go ahead and start with that. Yeah, see, I'm in a ship now. I'm in my cockpit. But for game purposes, usually I don't want to block too much of the the game. But yeah, I think that's really cool just to have that like that. Sometimes everything. All right, so let's see. Willie Barr. Let's see, where is he located? Sure that the mission's actually tracked.
Quantum travel engaged.
Yeah, like I recently started using my green screen. I've had it for like several months and I never set it up, but Dr. Disrespects Lambo, yeah. I've watched a couple of his streams. It's funny, he like never breaks character. I don't even know how he came up with that character, but it's pretty funny.
Quantum travel complete.
So we're definitely not gonna fly in Atmo all the way over there. I mean, we could do a little bit of low flying, but 84K, that's pretty damn far, man. Definitely gonna have to head up into space. So her L4, Mike L4. Alright. Alright, I guess we'll just fly over there. May as well see how it's gonna handle in low flying situations. No promises that I won't crash, but we'll see. I'm pretty good at low flying when it comes to flying a ship that handles good in Atmo. We'll see how this ship handles now. So do you fly coupled, decoupled, or a combination of both? Is that something you've been introduced to? So it looks like the first test is going to be an HRT in atmosphere, so we're going to definitely get that Atmo test right now. Okay, so coupled and decoupled. Basically, when you fly decoupled, it's just you have control of your thrusters more so. With coupled mode, it's more like your thrusters are all neutral and will maintain you kind of like in a neutral position. So kind of hard to explain, but I can demonstrate at another time when I'm in combat, like in space or something like that, show you like the difference. But like with decoupled mode, you'll see like I'm sinking, so I actually have to use my upstrafe thrusters to control my height so that it stops descending and things like that. You have to control all your thrusters individually. So it looks like, in my personal opinion, the Nomad flies a little slow in atmosphere. This is like full speed without like boosting. That's relatively slow, and it's not really a combat situation that you want to be in, is having a slow forward boost, or like having to rely on your boost to basically get up to speed. Most fighters are easily in the 300s, 400s, so you're talking about 200 meters per second faster than the Nomad. Yeah, it feels slow. It is slow. Like, we're hitting 190. And so in a combat situation in atmosphere, I feel like it's not ideal. And that's with my velocity limiter maxed out. So that's also something to consider. As far as how it handles, not really too crazy. You can feel the wind pulling you left and right. So maintaining the stability takes a little bit of work. And that's with sticks, so I don't even know how it's going to feel with mouse keyboard. Okay. Well, we're almost there. Let's see how this is going to turn out. Alright, we see our first ship is a Vanguard Warden. Okay. We're definitely not going to be able to run away in this situation. We're going to have to stay and fight, because if we run, we're going to get shot in the back and we're 100% dead. So that's our main target. That's who we're going to have to blow up. I don't know what other ships are going to be here, but as we get closer, we'll see.
Missile locked.
We get closer. Here we go.
Shit.
And we got 2 direct hits out of the 3.
Contact.
Special delivery.
Turn rate's not too bad.
Shield hit.
Shields hit, okay.
Hydrogen fuel 75%.
Gotta get shields back. Got another ship after us. It's the Eclipse. Alright, multiple ships, alright. Avenger Titan, we gotta get under it. Come on, come on, come on. Hit the ground. Bam. Whoa, okay. So that wind pulled me. That's not good. I'm trying to kind of create distance.
Missile lock. Target
All right.
destroyed.
One down.
Shield hit.
Come on. Still got a few more ships. Here we go. Titan flew past. We gotta just try to get behind it. This turn rate's not great. Come on now. Let's get this Hornet. Alright, we're gonna use this boost. Let's turn around. It's changing directions, okay. Alright, we got another ship also on the right. I'm gonna turn around and use some of these missiles. Come on. Nope. Ion's using ballistics.
Shit.
Shield hit. Target has been destroyed.
Come on now. There we go.
Target has been destroyed. Missile lock.
Shit.
Target has been destroyed.
Alright, HRT complete. Yeah, man, those small mags. But it can do an HRT. Now, next we're going to try to do a VHRT. We're going to do some quick repairs really quickly just to make sure that the ship's going to be at 100%. So for me, I'm gonna drop off my gear because I don't want to lose my gear that I'm wearing. So we're gonna head over to Everest Harbor, and we're gonna do a quick VHRT, and that'll just about do it. Yeah, the turn rate wasn't awful. You know, the thing is that you cannot run away in atmosphere. You will, if you give them your back and you run away, you're basically dead. But I will say this,
Engaged. Quantum travel.
considering the fact that those were, you know, medium fighters. You know, except for the Warden, that's a heavy fighter in atmosphere. The shields held up pretty well with the FR-66s. I'll give it that. So I'll give it that. The shields did hold up pretty well. I think with that exercise one, it helps the Nomad a lot. But I think that the Nomad does need a buff in how fast it can go, its speed. And look at the hydrogen fuel. Like, I basically just did one mission, and the hydrogen fuel is just almost at half. It's under 75%. So it's definitely a gas guzzler for sure.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
Where's my landing bay? Over there? Okay.
Landing gear engaged.
So if you're doing combat, you know, I would say it holds up for self-defense against, you know, the AI and potentially people that pilot that are not PvPers, like people that just don't know what they're doing potentially. But like I said in the beginning, I would not recommend this as a PvP ship. It handled the HRT fine. The reason that it looked a little bit undesirable is because of the atmosphere. The flight in atmosphere is not exactly ideal for this ship, right? So in space, I absolutely have no doubt that in space this can handle HRTs and VHRTs very comfortably. But unfortunately, you know, the mission that we got was in atmosphere, so we're gonna go ahead and make the repairs and everything. And yeah, like, if you look at the damage that I sustained off of that battle, I took 543 AUEC worth of damage. So that's like half my hull life, essentially. Exactly. It's literally like a light mining slash cargo hauler slash box running mission that, you know, you can survive in, but it's not necessarily ideal for... it won't let me restock either, my missiles, so they might have destroyed my missile systems, which means in the future I won't be able to use the rest of my missiles, which is not good if I'm going to be doing a VHRT. So that's something that I'm going to have to fix later, I guess, but we're going to still have to go do this. So before I head off, let's go ahead and cut engines.
Engine systems disabled.
I'm going to disrobe and take my gear off and make sure that I don't lose this in case for whatever reason happens in the VHRT. I'll put this all in my local inventory. Oh, sorry. And we'll just go total commando. Alright. Honestly, I'm hoping that that we get this in space at least.
Engine systems
Because I can honestly tell you that a VHRT in atmosphere is probably going to be a death sentence, considering how difficult the HRT was to pull off in this ship in atmosphere. Like, but we'll see. I could be wrong. I got a UI HUD glitch here, but I could be wrong. We'll see. We'll find out. But I'm hoping we're like in an asteroid field. I think that the ship handles really good in space. I just think in atmosphere it's lacking. It's definitely leaving a lot to be desired in the combat, you know, situation there. But Alright. Taking off. That UI glitch is going to be annoying though to deal
You
with,
are
but
clear to launch.
you know, it is what it is. Yeah. I know that they are going to work on atmospheric flight. I know that they have like a plan to change how like the handling and how the ships react in atmosphere and everything like that. I don't know what they're gonna do, if they're gonna make it more like DCS or like add some realism to it, so that I have no idea. But I know that there are things that they're planning on doing. Unfortunately, it does look like it's gonna be an Atmo again. So that kind of sucks, because I guarantee you in space VHRTs are very doable, but I also have less missiles. I have 1 missile, so before, remember, I had at least 8 missiles. It wouldn't let me replenish my missiles, so I'm gonna have to use that 1 missile really carefully. So I'm gonna kind of be in a bind here. I agree. I think that if you want to do like combat focus, the Gladius or the Arrow would be my top 2 picks for sure in the current game's meta. Especially if you're gonna melt like your cutty for it. It's a good way to make money. It's a fun way to make money, you know. And I mean, this ship overall, I mean, it's a good starter ship. If you know, people are starting out, want to do some rock mining, want to do some bunkers and things like that. You know, you want to take the ship out, but the fact that it costs so much to refuel constantly, the mileage per gallon is just so bad. I mean, I like the fact of having 3 size 3s. That's appealing to me for sure, but you get the same thing with the Gladius. The only difference is this gives you a bed and, you know, SCU storage and cargo space, but, you know, it's not a bad daily driver as long as your focus is not combat. Yeah. So that's my honest opinion on this ship. We can't run in the fight. Remember, guys, we cannot run. So we got a Hornet, which is out 100% going to outfly us. I've got an incoming call from somebody, which is weird. My in-game chat doesn't work, so I can't even accept the call. So hopefully it's not a player coming to blow my ass up, but we'll see. All right, so we've got a Hurricane. That's also going to outfly us. Cutlass Black, that's going to outfly us. But pretty much everything here will annihilate us. We're going to have to stay low to the ground if we stand any chance. And it looks like the sun might be going down, which is also something else that's not very good. Let's try to ignore this call. Oh, it's Dar. Dar, yeah, brother. Yeah, man, I'll get with you in a second, bro. It's a friend of mine. Sorry, bud. Doing a stream right now. Okay, that's actually gonna hurt me more than help me, so I'm gonna turn the light off. Like you can see the debris. So I'm trying to come at this from a perspective of how am I gonna survive, right? Like how am I gonna do this? Can I get the Cuddy's Black's attention using this missile? We'll see. I'm not necessarily trying to shoot the missile at him. I'm just trying to grab his attention. He knows he's been locked on. There he goes. So we've got his attention. We got to play this a smart way. Okay. I'm going to go over on this side. Okay.
Missile locked.
Shit.
Alright, we're gonna have to just shoot the missile at him and go low. Here we go. Whoa. Ah! Ugh.
Got a surprise for ya.
Shield hit.
This is gonna be a tough fight, guys. I don't think I'm gonna be able to do it. Unless we can get some of these guys to crash. Cycling shields. I've got no more missiles, unfortunately, because this would be the ideal situation to use missiles. Our Hurricane's a target, so let's go ahead and try to see.
Shield hit.
Try to dodge that.
Yeah!
Destroyed.
All right. That's it. We're just here to make money, so you can do it. Now we just gotta get away from these guys. Woo! Oh man, that took work. I will tell you that right now. That took some work. Let's go ahead and set down somewhere and...
Landing gear engaged.
Yeah, for VHRt and Atmo, absolutely. That was definitely not the ideal fight you want to do. I will say that much. But can it do it? Yes. Yes, it can. So, I mean, daily driver, can it do Atmo fight? Mind you, that was a VHRt. I had no missiles. I had the one missile from that was left over. If I had more missiles, it would have been much easier. But if you use your mind and use your basically your the land formations around you, you can make it difficult for them to basically catch you. I think that the turn rate on this ship is not the worst. I think it's okay. It's manageable. Like I said, the 3 size 3s, definitely matching the Gladius's firepower is good. You have 3 size 1 shields. My shields, I don't think, went down not a single time, so that's pretty convenient to have if you are in a combat situation where you need to either escape, or if you are doing something like this, you know, a VHRt or an HRT or anything like that. But I'm impressed. What can I say? I'm gonna switch everything to shields. I'm impressed. for the ship that it is, you know, you've got a bed, so you can basically bed log. You've got a small kitchenette that will probably be able to be utilized in the future. You've got vehicle storage space, so you can actually bring things with you and store it in your vehicle, as well as the 20 SCU of cargo that you can do if you're going to cargo run. You can do box missions in this ship. You know, you've got facilities. You know, and the answer is yes, it can do combat. Do you have to work at it? Absolutely, 100%. I think if you're skilled enough, you can make this work. And yeah, if you can do low flying and you're comfortable with not smacking into the ground, controlling your throttle and everything like that, I definitely think it's doable. Now, my final verdict for this ship, I would definitely put it in my top 5 starter ship list. It's definitely up there in the top 5 starter ship list for the most affordable ships, and you know, for what it offers more, you know, gameplay loops and things of that nature. You know, you've got the rear bed in the back that you can also carry a rock for mining. So it offers a lot of value for the cost, and that alone, you know, makes the ship definitely interesting. Now, I will say this. This is after upgrading the ship. I flew the ship stock. I did a VHRt with a stock ship, and I died in 2 seconds. They will completely obliterate you unless you do the proper upgrades, which I'll show on screen really quickly one more time. So, you know, here, this is what we ended up doing. We ended up doing the NDB-30s. Sorry, we did the NDB-30s. And we did the Panther. So we did 2 NDB-30s and a Panther. You can do 3 NDB-30s. You can do 3 Panthers. You know, if you want to do the attrition 3s, that's up to you. 3 FR-66 shield generators. The JS-300 power plant. 2 Ultra Flows. And the Atlas quantum drive. And that's pretty much going to do it for what you're going to need as far as if you want to make this ship work for you. In my opinion, I had fun flying it. I think it's a little bit of a love-hate relationship. I think there are better ships out there, especially if you're trying to get into combat. But I think for what it has to offer, especially for the beginning, early player, it's definitely not a bad pledge ship. But if you've got a little bit more money, and if you got friends to play with, I think the Cuddy Black or the Cuddy Blue, if you have friends to play with, is a better option. But if you're running solo and you want to get into combat more so than mining or cargo hauling, I would definitely go with a Gladius or an Arrow. If you want to do mining, if you want to do cargo hauling, if you want to do mining, get a Prospector or an Argo Mole. An Argo Mole more so, if once again, if you're running with other people. Prospector if you want to do mining, Argo Mole if you want to do mining. If you want to do anything like cargo hauling related, get yourself a Constellation. Once again, that's expensive, but you can get it in-game. And I think that that's what I would recommend upgrading to if you're going to try to do anything like that. Eventually, your end-game ship would want to be like a 890 Jump or a Carrack, but yeah, that's another good point that you bring up, Nomad, is, you know, it's not just for bringing the rock. You can also use it for bringing, like, you know, other, like, motorcycle bikes, like the Nox or the Drake Dragonfly or something like that. So I'm going to go ahead and basically station the ship at Everest, and my final verdict on the ship, I definitely give it, you know, as a starter ship, I put it like 1 being the best. I would put this like a 4. I would probably put it above the Avenger Titan because it has more value. So I would put Avenger Titan in the last slot. But in my opinion, I think that personally, I was able to do more comfortably with the C8R Pisces, which costs less money in game. than I did with this ship. So I would put this in 4th place. I'd put the C8R Pisces probably in like 3rd place. And for 2nd place, I would probably put something like the Cutlass. Just because if you're running with people, like 2nd and 1st place is definitely gonna be multi-crew. And in 1st place for me, personally, I would say like the MSR Star Runner if you're running multi-crew, because you can do cargo, you can do smuggling, you can do combat. You know, all of the guns on the Star Runner are size 3, so you can do combat in it as long as you're fully crewed, and it's got a lot to offer. So if you want to save up a little bit of money, it's like 5 million for the Star Runner, but that's like definitely a ship that I enjoy flying a lot. Oddly enough, it flies like a school bus in general, but in atmosphere it still doesn't fly that bad. Considering it flies like a school bus, it still handles pretty decently. But that's just my personal opinion. It depends if you like bigger ships. Yeah, for sure, man. Give the Pisces video a look. You know, I think it's called "Can the Pisces Do a VHRt?" And I basically discuss, you know, what the Pisces has to offer and things like that. In fact, I'm going to Everest right now. I can actually pull it out and just show you you know, the interiors and, you know, what the ship has and things like that right now before I end the stream, because we're basically coming to an end here. But yeah, it's very enjoyable, man. The C8R Pisces. And I'll show you like what my loadout is and what I decided to use for it and everything.
Quantum travel engaged. Landing gear retracted.
So honestly, I personally don't see a reason for me to fly this ship in the future. I just have ships that are far better than this. You know, I want to like the ship more than I do. Oh, there's no E in Horde. It's just HORD. For my Discord, it's just HORD 616-6490.
Travel complete. Quantum travel engaged. Quantum travel complete.
Okay, I'll accept it right now. Alright, Nomad, you have a good day, man. And yeah, I'll definitely catch you later. We'll definitely have to play together sometime.
Thank you. Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
Landing gear engaged.
Landing complete. Have a pleasant stay.
Alright guys, so I hope that you enjoyed the stream today, and I kind of answered some questions about the Nomad. Okay, can I leave? Is it going to let me leave? Am I just trapped in the cockpit right now? Okay. I hope I answered some questions about the Nomad and everything like that, and you know, kind of brought to light that it can absolutely, you know, do combat with some work, with, you know, some skill added to it. And if for whatever reason you guys have any questions or anything like that, I'm gonna go ahead and type my Discord once again here in the comment section at the end of the video. Okay. For those of you interested in potentially, you know, doing some gaming together, or if you just want to be part of the org and stuff, and you know, ask any questions, feel free. Q&As, anything that you want to ask about the game, questions about ships, questions about gear, questions about weapons, coolers, anything like that, and things like that. Or just if you want to just hang out, you know, watch a stream, things like that. So, all right, guys, VHRt 616 here. I'm signing off. Hope you guys have a great